Hello everybody, Cal Banyan here. Cal Banyan's Hypnosis, etc. on guess where? CalBanyan.com. If you're watching this video anywhere except CalBanyan.com, you want to go there right now, because in addition to this hypnosis training video, we've got literally hundreds of videos like this, each one containing a nugget or two or three that's going to help you build your practice or make you a better hypnosis professional. By the way, who is this series for? It's for folks who are really thinking about getting into the profession, or are serious about getting into the profession, or are already in the profession and want to improve their skills and confidence in doing hypnosis with real clients. All right, I'm so excited today. Today I'm doing this with my co-host Erika, and Erika is always a blast to do these with, and I really like doing them with her and Brenda because they really bring a whole different perspective than I have. I just got through doing a whole bunch of Cal-only episodes, and it's really nice to have my co-hosts back. Now, let me tell you what. Erika brought up this topic. She says, how about if we talk to our viewers and listeners and talk seriously about how we can use age regression, age progression to really develop a success plan for our clients. And Erika's going to dial that in for you so you know exactly what we're talking about. And I think it's going to cause a significant shift in how you look at how you are doing sessions, especially with certain categories of clients. So let me introduce Erika. Erika Flint was originally trained in Washington, where she lives, and the state of Washington, and she went through training and she kind of got the bug, but she didn't really have all the skills and confidence she needed. She got my 5-Path 2.0 DVD hypnosis training program. She got that together. She goes, now I got it. And she went to work seeing clients, and that led to her coming to my 7-day class, the Week of Power class, online, because you can take my classes live on site or live online, which is awesome. That way we have people from all over the world plugged into our classes. And gosh, she just took it from there. She went full-time in the profession, leaving her already very successful profession in software engineering, problem solving, all that kind of intellectual kinds of stuff, and said, I want to work with the greatest computer in the world, and that is the human mind. And then, so we got our hypno hooks into her, and before you know it, she was speaking at the convention, she's speaking on our podcast, and we're just awful glad to have her. How you doing, Erika?
Hi, Cal. I am doing great. Thank you. Yeah, it's great to be here today. And so let me tell everybody about you. Cal Banyan is the hypnosis celebrity, and not just because of all of these wonderful free hypnosis training videos that he's produced to date. He is the hypnosis celebrity because he's won nearly every award in the profession with the National Guild of Hypnotists, which is the oldest and largest hypnosis professional organization in the world. He's an author. He's appeared on radio and television talking about hypnosis, and one of his books, one of my very favorites, The Secret Language of Feelings. He is the authority when it comes to hypnosis that works. And he's the person that experts in the profession of hypnotism turn to for education and guidance. He's the trainer of some of the best in the profession. And he's still teaching, he's still making public appearances, he is still writing, he's still doing all sorts of fantastic things. And I'm just really happy that I met you, Cal. I'm really happy to be part of the podcast and everything here. It's made a huge impact on my life. Once I took the 5-Path training, I took a DVD, the 5-Path 2.0 DVD training first. As soon as I did that, I started seeing clients right away. And I worked part-time for just a little bit, and then I went full-time in the profession, and I've been doing that ever since. So, I'm just really happy about all of these things that we do here, and you have just created and given back to the profession so much. So, yes, thank you, Cal, so much.
Why, you know what? That's cool. And it's really, when you're really doing the work and you really understand what's going on, it just gets more and more exciting. I can't imagine that I've been doing this professionally for 20 years come March, full time, and I'm still this excited about it. A lot of my friends are talking about, well, I'm going to be retiring in 2 or 3 years. I'm so glad I don't have to do that stupid job anymore. And I'm just like, I don't want to retire. I want to do this so long as I can actually give something to the profession. I like doing other fun stuff too, but the idea of just quitting and and playing golf or something like that. Hey, so tell us about the topic.
All right, well, the topic today is called How to Be the CEO of YOU. So this is about helping our clients. The subtitle of this, when I was thinking about it and creating it, is helping clients succeed with powerful hypnotic execution plan. Okay, so I kind of consider this as a technique, a tool, given some of the things that we already know how to do, like very powerful age progression, right? Very powerful segue to direct suggestion. So this is for the clients, and I'll tell you just real briefly about how this kind of came up in my mind, because one of the things that I'm always looking for with clients is how to make the suggestions that I'm giving them relevant to them. And so some of the ways that I do that is help correlate the suggestions I'm giving them in a metaphor or story with something that's already going on in their life. Okay, so in this case, this particular client was an administrative executive. So and she'd been telling me about this, right? They come up with these plans that they execute day after day, and then they make adjustments. And so each and every day comes with a sheet of like a checklist that they work on every single day. And so when I was working with her and we were going through part of her session, she started detailing to me using in future or age progression. Okay, that's where she's imagining something in her future. She's telling me exactly what she wants to do next week at work. And so I started writing some of this down, and I said to her, okay, now that you have this plan, all you have to do is execute it. And it made a big difference to her, because this was something in her life that she was doing over and over. And so I've used that with other clients who are list creators, other clients who are kind of big picture thinkers who need to figure out, okay, how am I going to deal with Thanksgiving? How am I going to address this very specific thing? Let's come up with an execution plan based on the work that we do in hypnosis that they will complete when they leave the office. That's what it's all about. Does that make sense?
Exactly, and we talked a little bit about this before we started recording, and this segue from really whatever insight process you've been through, typically age regression work, into this age regression, get the insights of what they know now and how they feel about things now. We segue that into, well, now that you know and now that you feel, you can have, this is what your future is going to be like. Let's account for 1 to 3, go into your probable future. Bam! And you get to experience your life with these changes. And it just becomes a self-fulfilling hypnoprophecy, right?
Absolutely. And so the way that I found this to be very powerful is if your client comes to you and has something very specific. For example, let's say that your client comes to you and says, my in-laws or somebody in their life that they have challenges with is coming to stay with us this weekend. Or, I'm not sure how I'm going to do over Thanksgiving. I always eat too much over Thanksgiving or something like that. You can use exactly what you were just saying, Cal. You do your powerful age regression, you segue into these changes that you've made in your life, and now there you are, you find yourself at Thanksgiving, and you have your client go through Thanksgiving as they really want it to be, okay? And then you, as the hypnotist, are making note of all of these things that are going to help your client be successful over that specific event. So that becomes the execution plan then for your client, and then you fold that into the direct suggestion for them. And guess what? By the next time you see them after that Thanksgiving or after that weekend, I bet that they're going to be having a great story to tell you. What do you think?
Exactly. Keep going.
All right. So, a couple things to keep in mind. When we tell our clients, all right, so there's 2 ways to do this basically. One is you have them go through a age progression, and you have them imagine the event as they want it to happen, right? They're not including anything they don't want to happen. Only the things that they do want to happen. All right, so this is the first way to do it. You have them get all the way to the end of that, and then you just have them tell you what are the key points, right? So how can that be your future, right? How can you make sure that happens? And you're writing some of these things down, and then that becomes, all right, now you know exactly what to do. You have a plan. All you have to do is execute it. And then you just repeat it back to them. You're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to do this, and do that, and it makes you feel wonderful inside and confident, and you feel alive, right? So that's really the way that I like to do it, and then you have to ask them, the hypnotist, it's important that you're asking them certain kind of environmental questions, like is it, if they're starting to talk about something that might not be reasonable to happen, right? Well, I'm going to start my day with a 20-mile run or something like that. You might want to ask if that is, if they really think they will do that, or something along those lines, because you want it to be reasonable for your client. If your client hasn't run a single mile ever before, you just want them to be successful, right? So you're doing some double checking there, and then just writing some of these things down. You have to tell them, though, that plans don't always work out exactly as you have written them down, right? I mean, plans change, right, Cal?
Never. Of course they do.
Right. So, I mean, we have to communicate to them, even though that they've thought about how things are going to go, and even though that we've come up with a plan for them that all they need to do is execute, they still have to understand that plans can change. And that's all right, because in the end, all we still really want for them is to feel good about the plan that they came up with and execute it in a way that they still feel good about at the end of the day, right?
Absolutely. There's two things I want to emphasize. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, I'm rolling up my sleeves here. All right. So when we do age progression, it is more than just imagination. Age progression, like age regression, when we go back in time, is not just remembering. Okay? It's revivifying, which means to relive the event, which means they're going to actually experience some of the event over again. It could be the way they felt, to feel the same feelings, to think the same thoughts, perhaps even to taste the same taste, smell the same smells. Real age regression is a hallucination, at least in part. Now, with the age progression that Erika is talking about is not just, sitting there imagining something on a screen. No, this is, I coined the word to describe this, pre-vivification, to pre-live. Age regression is relive, revivification. Age progression done right, where there's actually a hallucinatory component that they pre-experience the touch, taste, sight, smells, the way they would think, the way they would feel emotionally, is pre-vivification. That which people experience in that way gets embedded in the mind as a kind of self-fulfilling prophecy. It creates an expectation in the mind and a rehearsal of behavior that just so programs them in a positive way to behave in a successful manner. Does that fit okay with what you're saying there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's really important that age progression. Thank you for describing that and detailing that, because it can be used in so many powerful ways. The other way, I said there were two ways. The other way that I like to do it is take your client out, 6 months from now, all right? I want you to imagine you've been, eating healthy, kind of some general suggestions perhaps that you come up with your client. Let's just imagine in this case, as it was with my administrative assistant, wanted to lose some weight. So I have her imagine going into the future, 6 months. There you are, you've lost some weight, you look in the mirror, you look fantastic. And then guess what? I have her describe how she looks, how she feels, and that type of a thing, okay? Because it's much better when you get your client to own their own changes, right? And then what I'll do is I'll say, all right, so, how can this be your future? What are the keys to your success? How is this going to be your future? And then I'll write those things down, and that can be used also as an execution plan. So that's a different way of going about it. I think that you've said that to me before too, Cal, like how can this be your future, right?
Right. And I just kind of praise you here a little bit. One of the things I really liked as you're talking about this, and even in our talk before we did it, was I want everyone to notice that when she has the client in the probable future, she doesn't speak in future tense. She doesn't say, you will do this and you will do that. She says, now you are confident and you are speaking up, or you are speaking comfortably in front of groups, whatever it is. as if it was already so. So you want to stay consistent with being in present tense as you take them into the future. And also the direct suggestion that will be tied to it, as Erika so well demonstrated when we were talking about it earlier, that is also done in present tense. As you go, and now you'll be able to accept these suggestions more powerfully than ever before. Now, when you are in these situations, you do this, you feel that, so that present tense is consistent with what they've just experienced also. Isn't that right?
Absolutely, yeah. You want your client to feel how it's going to feel right there as much as they can, so that when they leave, they're like, man, I got a taste of that, right? Or I felt, not too long ago, I had a client say to me, wow, I haven't felt that feeling inside of me in so long. I don't remember the last time I felt that way, right? Well, she's just sitting in the hypnosis chair. But that's what we do, right? We help people feel things. We help them feel joy and confidence and peace and love and that they might have forgotten about, right? So, right?
Awesome. I once heard it said that the most powerful words you'll ever hear are the words you say to yourself in the privacy of your own mind, because that's the expression of your firmly held beliefs, I say parenthetically. But also, the words you say out loud in a state of hypnosis are also the most powerful words you'll ever hear or say. So just as Erika was talking about, having people say, what's changed? I've changed because now I know. I've changed because now I feel. Or now I'm doing this and now I'm doing this. It's so much more powerful than you just doing direct suggestion. You go, you are now confident. You are now confident. You're now a non-smoker. You're now a non-smoker. That kind of thing. Cool. Okay, wrap it up.
All right. Well, thanks for joining, everybody. My name is Erika Flint. You can find me at CascadeHypnosisCenter.com. You can also find me on Our Hypnospace. I lead a marketing group there, and I hope to see you at Solid Gold in February.
Awesome. I'm going to be there. We're going to be partying in Las Vegas. Hey, so you guys, speaking of Vegas, Solid Gold weekend, I want you to know, Celeste, if you've been watching all our videos, she was my first co-host. She's now a speaker at the National Guild of Hypnotists. She now writes for the Journal of Hypnotism along with me. And you know what? She's going to be talking about how she makes $100,000 a year out of her home, and I've seen her tax returns. That's honest to God truth. And also Erika is going to talk about building your success with doing a stress buster workshop, and I'm going to be doing a talk. I mean, this is like the 5-pathers Solid Gold weekend. Don't tell anyone I said that. We just happen to have 3 speakers there. How to revolutionize your practice doing hypnotherapy and self-hypnosis with the time tunneling technique. So exciting. Okay. January, I got my next class, January 2016, 18th through the 29th. It's the first time ever I'll be teaching the new 5-path induction, somnambulism, deep hypnosis, tested and deepened in 3 minutes, plus a shorter version that accomplishes all that in 2 minutes. Be there. There's early registration discounts. That's January 18th to 29th, 2016. Full certifications, NGH approved Banyan Hypnosis Certification Super Course with 5-path and 7-path. We also have March, July, and October, but don't wait. Be in the January class so you can be one of the first to learn the new 5-path induction. All right, that's it. Cal Banyan, signing off. This recording is the property of Cal Banyan and the Banyan Hypnosis Center for Training and Services, Incorporated. All rights reserved, for private use only, may not be duplicated without permission. For contact information, go to www.hypnosiscenter.com.